All right, guys, how's it going? Two things before I get into the video. One, I'll be live on here tonight, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock UK time. Also tomorrow night, Thursday night at 6 UK. Wednesday nights I'm not usually available, but tonight I am. So I thought I'd hang out with you guys for a bit. So 6 o'clock UK on here. The other thing that I was going to mention to you is I had planned to do this video much earlier today and some other content as well. But I forgot it was Wednesday, and on a Wednesday I go to see my friends play football. So I'm a little bit behind with things. So basically, we're going to be taking a look at an article published by L'Équipe in France. Some of you guys have been asking about it, my thoughts on it. It's about Ibrahima Konaté. I'm going to tell you about the article. I'm going to give you the bullet points. I'll quickly skim through the article. I won't read it all to you. And then I've got Dave to analyse the article for you. Dave is my AI assistant that's been trained since last year to analyse football articles, the journalists that publish them, and the platforms, websites, newspapers, etc., that push us on us, and he'll give his take as well. So I did publish an article about this today on Cop Talk. That's the article there. This image and the headline here is like a screenshot from the original article. And as you can see, I've gone over it in there. There's Dave for you. The main man, Dave. So let me get my notes. There's a lot to go over with you. I'll try not to butcher the video. So basically, L'Équipe is France's most respected sports daily. It is the Bible of French sport. When it comes to League One or the French national team, they're the authority. But for Premier League football, they're more observer than insider. They'll often reflect what's already out there, unless it's French players abroad, where they sometimes get scoops. Obviously, Konaté is French. Now, the article that we're going to be looking at was penned by a chap called Hugo Delhomme. He's a regular journalist at L'Équipe. He's solid when it comes to French football and internationals, not a transfer scooper like Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, or Jose Felix Diaz. More a straight reporter than a hype merchant. Now, the headline today, let's check the headline. Liverpool have made a new contract extension offer to French international defender Ibrahima Konaté. It's straight to the point. It's not a hype headline, not an exclusive banner to be seen, not baiting clicks. It just states Liverpool have made a new offer. So at least L'Équipe aren't playing the you won't believe tabloid game here. Now, a bullet point summary of the article, I can tell you right now, if you haven't seen it, it talks about William Saliba as having just extended with Arsenal until 2030 with a fat pay rise. Bayern want to extend Upamecano. His contract ends June, also linked with Liverpool weekly. Weekly, not as in every week, but weekly as in a little bit. But no big progress there with Bayern. Liverpool first opened talks with Konaté less than a year ago, they say. Their first proposal in December 2024 was apparently poor compared to his status as a starter. And I remember saying, doing videos at the time, it sounded like they were lowballing him. I've got to be honest. No proof or anything to back that up. But it was just the way the player was reacting, things that his agent was saying, and what people were commenting behind the scenes. Negotiations paused while he focused on the season, then resumed in spring 2025. Liverpool have restructured their offer multiple times. A new proposal was made about 2 weeks ago. Negotiations are ongoing, not finalised yet though. Liverpool are said to remain confident a deal can be done. That's a major part of the headline, or the story if you like, which makes it interesting because most people feel that he's going to go to Real Madrid, given opportunity. But if he signs at Liverpool, does that mean that Real Madrid have seen his performances this season? Maybe they've gone, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? So if he signed for us, I would think that Real Madrid have cooled their interest. But there you go. Real Madrid are attentive to the situation, but no offers or negotiations yet, according to L'Équipe. Remember, this is just claims from France. So it says here, the main article, while several European giants are monitoring his situation, the French international defender has been offered a new extension by the Reds. The English club's directors remain confident, and I find that very interesting to hear that. You may remember a few weeks ago, Paul Joyce Ending an article, Paul Joyce at the Times, the closest journalist to Liverpool Football Club, ending on Konaté, saying Liverpool Football Club won't beg anyone to stay with them. The Madrid-based media, suggesting that Liverpool are resigned to losing him. So fuck knows who we're to believe here, to be honest with you. It talks about Upamecano, Konaté, Saliba. Until last week, the long-term future of these three French central defenders was undecided. And obviously we know about Saliba. So, that Saliba extending with Arsenal makes you think, more likely Konaté will go to Real Madrid then, because every time Konaté was linked with them, Saliba was thrown in there too. But obviously he can't be going there. Bayern directors still up to extend Upamecano, 26, whose contract expires in June. But as things stand, there's been no significant progress. And Ibrahima Konaté, ? Liverpool's directors began the first discussions a little less than a year ago to extend their French defender, whose contract runs out in June. And it says their first offer, made in December, was well below the status of the former RB Leipzig starter. And then we have a subheading: clubs, including Real Madrid, are monitoring the situation. Listen, I've had information provided to me saying PSG are really interested in him, and that's why Real Madrid were turning up the heat via the Madrid media recently. But I don't get excited when someone comes to me and says PSG are interested in him, Dung, because it just seems like a very easy thing to say. Do you know what I mean? If I come on here saying to you, guys, I've received an email, I'm going to put it in the mail stand because PSG are interested, you go, well, that's, you're starting to sound like one of them Twitter twats, Dung. But maybe they are interested in him. Talks which were interrupted for several months because he wanted to focus on his season. Apparently, yeah, we've heard that before. Resumed in the spring. Why are talks ongoing if he's set on Real Madrid? It's interesting, isn't it? That's if you believe the report, right? A new proposal from the Reds was made around 2 weeks ago. Doesn't mean that he's going to entertain it, but is it because Liverpool? You could look at it and say Liverpool wouldn't do that if they didn't think they had a chance. Or is the player stringing them on a little bit, going, well, we'll see, drag it out. I genuinely don't know, guys. I think that prior to this article, I was very much like, nah, he's off to Real Madrid. It's so fucking obvious. But with this being L'Equipe and, being close to a French footballer, you would assume it just makes you wonder a little bit. And it makes you wonder if Real Madrid have maybe cooled a little bit. I don't know. But what I am doing is I'm checking the Spanish football dailies every single day, as you know, for any mentions about Konaté, Gay, who's the other fucker? McAllister as well. And the FSG, looking for another, potentially a Spanish club. But at the moment, I'm looking for Konaté. Tomorrow could be an important day because they'll have had time to digest these latest claims. There was nothing in the Madrid-based papers today. But tomorrow, I'm going to be like that tomorrow and see if the fuckers have got out to say. Now, discussions are still ongoing. A number of elements remain unresolved. Well, that makes it sound to me like maybe some elements have been resolved, but a number haven't. Is it bluff? Is it bullshit? Are they stringing Liverpool on? And then if Real Madrid suddenly say, nah, you know what, we'll fucking leave it. He goes, oh no, well, we'll sign that now. I don't trust Konaté, I've got to be honest with you. I still don't trust him. Right, let's have a look. The English club's directors remain confident about finalising the deal. Some clubs, Real Madrid, while not having made offers or open negotiations, are keeping an eye on Konaté's situation. I find that contradictory to what Jose Felix Diaz has said regarding Real Madrid's stance, and I trust Jose Felix Diaz. That's the difference here. Hugo Delhomme at L'Equipe, I do not know him. I have a log now, Dave will keep a log of him, and he says here that he's solid when it comes to French football and internationals. He's not a transfer scooper, more a straight reporter than a hype merchant. Even says he's not in the league of Jose Felix Diaz. Still interesting. But Jose Felix Diaz, he thinks it's very advanced with Real Madrid and he will not be shitting lies. Now, let's look at the analysis. This is by Dave. Credibility. This reads like a safe, steady piece rather than breaking news. It confirms Liverpool have made a new offer, fair enough, but couches everything in discussions ongoing, still elements to resolve. Basically, it's a progress report, not fireworks. Dave says, with regards holes in the articles, this is something he's been trained to look for, which is why he's flagged it up here for us. No details about the offer, length of deal, wages, release clause, nada, nothing, zilch. Liverpool confident. That's vague. Are they confident because he's signing or because they have to project confidence? Real Madrid are attentive. Yeah, and I'm attentive to Margot Robbie's Instagram. Doesn't mean I'm making her an offer. Classic filler line. Positivity for Liverpool fans. Some, because it confirms the club is actively trying and have improved their offer. But I'd urge caution. No agreement, no signatures, and Madrid still hovering. We've seen this movie with Trent already, and it is very similar so far. Headline versus content. The headline promised Liverpool made a new offer. That's exactly what the piece says, so no baiting here. But the rest is just padding with Saliba and Upamecano comparisons. Now, Dave's verdict on this, guys, it's not clickbait, it's not nonsense, but it's hardly groundbreaking either. It's the journalist equivalent of saying talks are ongoing, Liverpool are confident, Madrid are watching, which is basically the template for every contract saga. Strength. It shows Liverpool are still in the fight, still improving offers, and haven't thrown in the towel. However, Liverpool wouldn't throw in the towel. They would continue to do that, I think, right until a decision was made by the player. Weakness. No substance about what Konaté wants. No quotes, no figures, no sense of how close they actually are. Confident could mean anything from it'll be signed next week to we hope he doesn't leg it to Madrid. Dave's take on it, he just says, imagine me telling you I've asked Margot Robbie out again and I'm confident she'll say yes. Technically true, but until she signs on the dotted line, Dunk, I'm still single and Madrid are still circling. So should Liverpool fans be buzzing? Not yet. Should they panic? Not from this article alone. But if you're holding your breath waiting for him to sign, don't. L'Equipe just confirmed what we already knew. Negotiations are happening, Madrid are watching, and Konaté's signature is still missing. And that breakdown, that analysis, I think, there by Dave, it brings us back down to earth again, I think, because when that article, first started circling last night, all the Twitter twats, right, the content instigators, the content aggregators were making a big deal out of it. Liverpool confident, Konaté is going to extend. But when you actually break down the article, there's not really a lot in it. It's like Dave says, it's not really telling us anything we don't already know. So if you'd have said to me, do you think Liverpool will be trying to get him to sign in the background, even though it looks like Real Madrid are very advanced, if you believe Jose Felix Diaz? I would say yes, of course. They're always going to continue. They're not going to give up. They're going to continue. They will have done the same with Trent. Even though the amount of money offered to Trent, I don't think would have made any difference. He made a decision for footballing reasons, in my opinion. So Liverpool will continue to try. And, if then you have to decide what Konaté is doing and what his agent are doing. They're just playing Liverpool along. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Because at the end of the day, the agent, right, he has to have that other option lined up for Konaté. Let's say that they do want him to go to Real Madrid. What if it falls through? What if Real Madrid say, he's not convincing us? What happens then? You can't say to Liverpool, nah, fuck you, we're off, and then expect to go back to the table, right? That's just not how it works. And there was a little reminder of that in that Paul Joyce article when he said, we don't beg for anyone. Well, he said Liverpool don't beg for anyone, which is the same thing, really, right? Because we all know that an article by Paul Joyce is really Michael Edwards talking to us, right? So you have to decide whether Konaté is like, yeah, I'm thinking of staying, yeah, or whether he's just going along with it in case he needs to fall back onto that deal. And I'll be honest with you, I think, having thought about it and just, going over things in my mind just now, I'm still of the opinion that Konaté wants to move to Real Madrid. But as I've said all along, if he did extend with Liverpool, I think it would be because Real Madrid pulled the plug. That's what I think, because I know Jose Felix Diaz isn't going to lie. He's also the closest journalist to Real Madrid and Florentino Perez. And I've spoken to Jose before, and he's a good guy, you know. And contrary to what people might think, oh, they're just shit stirrers, this, that, and the other, everything he said with Trent was right, and everything he said privately to me was right also. So the one bit I don't get, and maybe you can help me with this, is why is the French media carrying this? We can only assume, if it hasn't been made up, that Konaté's representative has fed them summer and said, yeah, we got a new contract offer. Now, could that be for them to publish that article as a negotiating tactic against Real Madrid? Because Real Madrid will be aware of the article, right? And, you know, the agent has got to make it look like there is competition, right? Because that's how you secure better terms for your clients. So I think with this, I'll be completely honest with you, absolutely none of us, you and myself, we can't, you know, emphatically say what is happening here. I think it's too difficult to say for certainty this is what's happening. We can only express an opinion. And my opinion is Konaté does want Real Madrid. This could be a negotiating ploy because the French media are going to do something to help Konaté here. You've always got to ask yourself, why am I reading this? Who does it benefit, right? Now, if we take it that the article is true and authentic and the agent is telling the truth, he can only say what he's being told. Who would that article benefit? I want you to think about that. Who does that article benefit? Who does it not benefit, right? I want you to think about these things. Every time you see an article, who does that fucking benefit, right? Because that's why we're reading it. It's out there for a purpose, in my opinion, because it does sound like this article has been, created or has come together as a result of Konaté's agent. And the only reason I think that the agent would want that publishing, because if the agent thought, well, we're probably going to sign with Liverpool, why does he need to tell the world about it through the French media? My instinct, my gut reaction, and I got a big gut, is that this is probably to put a bit of pressure on Real Madrid, maybe. Maybe Real Madrid have been a bit like lukewarm recently, and the agent's going, I don't know, we need to make out someone else who's fucking interested. And they are. Liverpool would like him to extend. All right, and maybe he will extend. Maybe he will extend. So a lot of maybes and buts and ifs, but you know me, I don't come on here to just say, hey guys, this is what's happening. You know, like these people do. I can tell you, my sources tell me and all that. Dave's gone over it with us, and I think everything he said was right. What do you think? I really need your input on this one, guys. I do, because sometimes I've said this many, many times before. When you guys comment, I read your comments. I read every single comment, and I think, ooh, that's a good point. I didn't fucking think of that. You know what I mean? So keep your points coming on this one, all right? Don't forget, if you comment my videos, I do pick a winner out every day now for a free Cop Talk VIP membership for a year. It's worth 50 quid, you know. I love you, no. Yes. So you need to watch the morning briefings for that. There was one competition winner today. Well, it's not a competition. It's just a comment of the day, if you like. So if you watch the morning briefing, I do announce the winner right at the very beginning. So you are not subjected to all that drivel, okay? So if you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please comment the video. And what else? There's a love out of the video if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee. It's basically chucking something in the kitty, all right? And we're entering winter, which is a lot more difficult than the summer months, I can assure you. I always give a shout out to everyone that supports me via that method, including, of course, my channel members, the people with the football next to the name. Those are the legends around here that help me, that walk with me, all right? So if you do support me, I always give a shout out, in the morning briefings the following day. If you don't see the love out, there are links in the video description where you can support me as well. All right, guys, I look forward to reading the comments on this video. I've got to go. I'll be live soon. Hopefully, we'll speak in a bit. I did promise, I'm not sure I promised, I did threaten to do some content for channel members today, but I'm not going to get that done today. Tomorrow, I think. There was just something I want to go over with a mail stand email to do with Federico Chiesa, and it's one that I would want to keep private, I think. All right, guys, so we'll look at doing that tomorrow. In the meantime, thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. All right, guys, cheers.